Hello, hello. Welcome to our Soulful Saturday conversations. I am very excited today to bring to you the beautiful Tiffany Baskett, and she will be joining us in just a moment, also known here on IG as Free Spirit Tiffany. So we're waiting for Tiffany to join us on our live. I'm excited to talk with Tiffany today. She is also another Black yoga instructor who has just been so, and I want to share her with you all. Sorry about that, I got tongue twisted. So as I've said in the past, and there is Tiffany. Hi,
Hi.
we got you on, girl. You getting it together over there.
I know. Like, let me get my life together real quick.
You are live, girl, so you
Yeah.
can go. Yes, right ahead. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you. How are
See
you
me?
today?
Okay.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing
Good.
very well. I was just introducing you. Hello, Pleisha. I see you there. How are you? Yes. Um, Thank you, Tiffany, first of all, for joining. Welcome to Soulful Saturday Conversations, our weekly 30-minute soulful. And when I say soulful, I mean from one soul to another, right?
Mhm.
Just a meaningful conversation in our community. You are also, I was just sharing, a Black yoga instructor, but so much more than that. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to
Ooh.
introduce yourself. I just want to tell everyone what this is all about. Soulful Saturday Conversations is our continued effort to build community amongst ourselves, Black yoga teachers, Black women, just, talking with one another. We know we're living through a pandemic. And what I hear from people over and over again is really missing the connection of others, not being able to talk with people.
Yeah.
That's really hard, right? And so that challenges us, especially in the yoga space on many levels, because that is what we do. We are in front of people. People are in front of us, right? So welcome, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us. And so we want to talk about that. Talk about what your experience is. People should know that you are also a business owner. We are business owners and we're business women. So yes, and so I want you to address that as well. And that these conversations will go on every Saturday. We will highlight another beautiful soul. Tiffany's just one of them, and she's been so awesome. Ever since we've connected, I think we've just, we just met and it was like an easy connection and we've stayed
Yeah.
connected ever since. Last month in September, you were one of my featured teachers for Soulful September Saturdays.
Yeah.
And that
That was
was such a,
awesome.
yes. Yeah, so I do want you to share your experience about that as well. So
Okay.
enough from me. I'm going to let you take it away, Tiffany. Just tell us about who you are, what you're doing right now, what's happening in your world, and anything else you'd like us to know specifically about you.
Okay. Well, I'm Tiffany, and I don't know. You said so much. So first of all, I appreciate it, and I appreciate even knowing you and having your presence. Because when I met you, and you were like, "I've been doing yoga for so many years," and I was like, "I didn't even know we did yoga." I felt so crazy.
Yeah, that's a
But that
thing.
was cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you helped me with even some things with my son because you have sons, and I mean you have sons and daughters. But I think the first time I met you, so I'm a mom, and the first time I met you, I was trying to figure out like how to parent this son that was like strong-willed and but also super brilliant, and like
Mhm.
I was trying to figure it out. You were like, you have to let it be, and you gave me a poem to read. Do you remember this? And I read that. I actually put it up in my yoga room, and I was like, I'm not gonna forget this because they're the future. They are, but we also have to let them be who they are. And
Yes.
so trying to force, but that's also with people too. So like you mentioned, I opened a studio. It's called the Fitness Collective, and I think even in that space, when I opened it, it was like, I have to tell everybody about yoga. I have to make
Mhm.
sure everybody knows that there's alternative wellness methods. We don't have to take medicine. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. We can take sea moss. We can take elderberry, zinc, colloidal silver, et cetera, right? And it was more so from a place of like, because this is so great and everything we've been doing before is so bad. Stop now. And
Yes.
that's not that's not the way that people receive information.
Right. Well, that it's a great thing that you learned that, but again, that's something that you had to learn. You had to experience that, like in your heart, to want to share, and just because it's been something wonderful for you, you naturally want to communicate that to everyone. But you're absolutely right. It's not the way that everyone receives the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been a growth. I guess we're always like works in progress and we're always growing, right? That's the point.
Yep.
And so if I can say that I also have a podcast, which you're going to be on, it's called Love Healing. And it's because everything that brought me to this point has been so helpful with healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all the pieces, right? There's all these tools that we can gather and put in our toolbox. But then the key is to actually take them out and use them when we need them. And figure out what tool is for what time, and what's going to give us the better, I don't want to say the better healing process, but definitely like help us further it along, because individually we affect the tribe, and then tribally we affect the whole collective, which is the world. So it's so important that I come from a place of like, hey, here's some stuff that worked for me, and here's some people who it also worked for, and you take what you want and don't what you don't, and it's all going to be fine, because eventually we'll get somewhere. I don't know where that is, but we'll ascend, to something.
We'll move forward.
Or
forward,
forward movement, onward together. That's my biggest like hope and prayer and thing for the next generation coming up, is I think we just got disconnected. We got disconnected from ourselves. We got, disconnected from so many things, because it's all like, what's mine? What's mine? What can I have? What can I keep? Like, it's not, but that's not the thing.
Yeah. I mean, you said quite a bit there, and I want to welcome those who are joining us. I see you, Jerry. I see Desiree, and Desiree, I want to share too. Desiree is going to be leading our meditation for our fall series, so I'm very excited to have her. And I'm going to have you on here as well, Desiree. Thank you. Definitely want to have you in conversation. So you said something very, very key that I heard, Tiffany, in what you shared, and that it really does start with yourself, right? Once the healing begins with you, then that healing then can be reflected or shared, and it will then impact others, and then we impact our families and our communities and our nation, cities, states, countries, and then globally out, right? So it just keeps expanding out, as you said, ascending up. So I love that. You talked about that. Just tell us where yoga began for you. Like where in life did this journey of yoga begin for you?
Okay, so it's got two parts. When I was younger and I was a teenager, I was a ballerina and a dancer of all kinds of dance. I got injured, and the part of my rehab was to go to yoga. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so boring. This is like not what I want to do. I don't want to do yoga. I would rather go back to ballet. So I did a couple of classes as per my physical therapist, and I stopped. But then when I got pregnant, there was a thing that popped up for Oh Baby Fitness, and they had prenatal yoga. And I was like, I guess I need to breathe. I'm going to also do boot camp. I'm going to also do stroller derby, everything. But then I really it was like that yoga, the prenatal yoga, and then connecting my breath with the baby. It was a different experience.
Yeah.
And that's where the serious yoga journey started. And he was born in 2008.
Okay.
And then I just kept taking and doing until now, really still.
Yeah. And now you're teaching, and you're also a studio owner. So tell us a little bit about the Fitness Collective here in Atlanta. Let people know what it's all about and how that's working for you right now. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it's working very well, but so it's a collective of fitness and wellness professionals. So we have Reiki, bar, 4 different types of yoga, soon to be 5. So we have comedic yoga, booty yoga, primal flow, vinyasa. I mean, that's part of primal flow. Restorative, and then we're adding a yin. So
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
excited for those things.
Yes, very nice. And how long have you had the fitness? How long have you been a part of the fitness collective? Because I know you are a leader in that effort. And then where is it located for those who are in the Atlanta area who want to come and support you and take some classes or just check out the schedule and see
Yes.
who's on the schedule? Tell us about that.
So I opened in January 7th of this year. And
Wow.
then COVID. So I pivoted to everything online and all the professionals that work there. So it is, and I am just a part of the Fitness Collective, because the idea was to have everyone come as themselves, their brand, bringing their expertise, their passion, and we just, are there for the community. And so it's everybody, we all put in, we all, gain from. And it's like a community that I didn't even really think that was possible to build, but it was, in my head, I was like, there's gotta be a way, there's gotta be a way.
Mm-hmm.
And there, I've hit my head a couple times, fell a couple times, had a couple people leave, and that's okay, because it made space for the ones that wanted to be there and want to share their gifts. Mm-hmm. So we're on Campbellton and Camp Creek in South Fulton, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. We are also virtual, so the entire there's 2 classes that are in person only, but everything else, virtual or in studio.
Yeah, very nice. And so that speaks to the power, I think, of you and who you are, and that you opened in January and COVID hit the state of Georgia in particular in March. Yes. Right? We just shut down in March, and like the whole world, has changed, and now having to offer things virtually. So what is that experience like, leading virtually? Just share a little bit about that.
It's different. Mm-hmm. And at first it was not my favorite thing to do, because I'm used to feeling the energy of the people in the room. Yeah. But what's been funny is, or not really funny, but what I'm starting to notice is that even virtually we could feel each other's energy. And mm-hmm. the same people show up most of the time. They're committed to themselves. And it's so not even about me or any of the teachers that are teaching. We are literally just trying to stay sane. And then we're like, okay, you show up, I will be here. We're going to do this together. We're going to get through this together. Yes. Ready to come in. We did lights on the floor. Mm-hmm. So there's 6-foot squares. Yeah. Everybody will be 6 feet apart when they're ready to come in, but there's no rush. So we have connected online, and whenever or however, we'll eventually be back in person.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yes. Hi, Tiffany. I see you there. I love my temple. I just love our community. I love this. I feel so tremendously blessed by all of you all. I really do know some amazing, when I say amazing, and I count you as one of them, Tiffany, just like these layers of complexity and gifts that live in your soul. Henceforth, Soulful Saturday conversation. So yeah, Tiffany is just another business owner, studio owner. I'm gonna share her with our community as well. So yes, I know, Tiffany. Thank you so much. So I also want you to speak a little bit about, Tiffany, just in terms of yoga and life, right? Like how we live. So yoga, as we know, is a practice. And when people hear yoga, because even early on in the conversation, you mentioned that, yes, Jerry, blessings on blessings, that, people, yoga, people think of yoga, and they come in for the sort of the exercise of it or the movement of it. Even you thought it was so boring when you first started, right? And so I wanted you to share a little bit about what yoga is and how it is woven into your actual life, from not only just as a Black woman, right? Just as how you live your yoga, not just, off the mat. So just share with the community, because as you said, you wanted us, right? This is like Black people just do not understand the level of depth On a lot of us do. I don't want to say Black people as a whole. There are many of
Yes.
us that do know and understand, but there are many that don't. And so we want to touch those who really don't, right? Of course, we want to continue to grow and build our community with those that do, so that they can share their knowledge and gifts. But I really want you to share a little bit about yoga off the mat for you personally.
Okay. So I love this question because it's so layered. So I'm trying to compartmentalize in my head, like, what do I really want to say? Because there's so many ways that yoga, first, the breath. Like, I didn't even realize I wasn't breathing properly. I wasn't taking full breaths. And how could I not be doing that as a ballerina or a singer or, whatever? But there's, when you hit the 4 major diaphragms, the pelvic, the abdomen, the throat, and the crown, there's the sphenoid and the occiput that breathe in your head. When you have all of those things that are able to get the proper amount of oxygen, you change the way you respond to people. It's not so quick. If you could pause and take a breath. That's so yoga's helped me with that. I was like,
amen.
Spitfire hot. Like, okay, what do you say? Let's do it. Yeah. No. Now I'm like, okay, I appreciate that perspective. So this is what I think.
Right. Yes, a more thoughtful response. Listen, I think you're speaking to all of us with that one, Tiffany, because, talk about that Spitfire hot. I've always called it verbal gymnastics. We play this verbal gymnastics game. It's like, oh yeah, and the one-ups and the, all that. But you're absolutely right. Just taking that mindful breath, just not having the need to react, but being able to be more thoughtful and mindful in your response just by breathing. So that is really awesome. Right. So what about your mental health as it relates to yoga? Talk about that.
Well, so that actually comes with learning more about yoga and getting out of the preconceived notion, that it's a religion or that it's not for people of color and all of those things. And so mentally, even realizing that movement like this started way back, ancient Kemet, right? As did most all things. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, right? But even going back to that part to say, to be able to know that we were so intelligent and still are, to know how our bodies should move and be and just kind of like release. There's a release. Sometimes I'm not even on the mat and I just can feel myself just start stretching in a chair at the store. Being even aware of where my body is in space. It's helped with proprioception. I can't even tell you how I don't know how I was functioning before. To somebody to say, step your right foot back and tilt your pelvis, pull up your pelvic floor. Before I'd be like, yeah, okay, that just means step my foot over here somewhere, and maybe it's the. But mentally, I guess I am not answering this question, but I am in a way. It's just helped me to think outside the box and then seek more information. Just kind of be more aware of more than just me. More than just here and more than just now. If we know more about the richness of our past and the incredible inventions, the astronomical potential that we have and have already exhibited, it's still here. We can still do any and all things.
Yes.
We just need to remember.
Yeah, we just need to remember. I love that. What about we are upon a historical election, as elections are and have been in our lifetime. They've just each been historical for different reasons. This particular election right now we're living through brings up a myriad of issues. We as a community of people of color, the trauma that we're dealing with and have dealt with, not only from a generational perspective, but right now, today, the traumas that we're living through, seeing our Black bodies and brown bodies attacked on a regular, dying. It feels like for me, I see my goodness, the relationship to when we were enslaved, the way we're just being taken out, right? So I want to know from you how the social justice aspect, voting and racial justice play into your particular, from a personal standpoint, not necessarily from a teacher, but how
Yeah.
you are able to address this and deal with this issue in your own life?
Oh, that's tough. Because it's kind of like we're picking the lesser of two evils in this one, right? And it's like, I feel like we've been doing that except for 2008 and 2012.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm just so excited to see so many movements come up and happen,
Mhm.
so many justice. There's a group called the Collective Legal. They have a lot of really good information. And I just saw that Diddy put together something called Our Black Party. So I'm getting involved in as many organizations that are trying to propel us forward positively as I
Awesome.
can. Because
Yeah.
being with like-minded people, as you know, whether it's yogis or whether it's people who are trying to help other people, going out, raising money, doing this, giving that, that will keep you just kind of remembering that there's something bigger and there's something more, and we can always learn something from any
Yes.
situation. Even the
Yes.
past 4 years, I think it has taught us, if nothing else, you need to go out there and vote.
Don't sleep on this one.
Don't sleep.
Right. I absolutely agree. I mean, and just going back to what you said about the breath, right? Like even when we are in these situations where we don't agree, or we're in, conversations, or we're seeing things, just taking that deep breath, right? So let's take a breath here, Tiffany. I think that's an appropriate time to just sit together and just for just one breath. I mean, just Yes, ma'am. Yes. And I hope everybody who's watching this has taken a breath right along with us. So the one other thing I want to ask you about is, just because you're so modest, like I want you to talk about, like, I say this to people, many people don't realize the level of intelligence and just the sort of the intellectual prowess that you have, right? Like, I mean, you are like certified in all sorts of things. So just, I mean, massage, and you have your own, that body, right? So you haven't even touched on that. So please don't be shy and share that with people, because the other part that I want people to know are the resources that we have, right?
Yes.
So people are looking for, a massage therapist or someone who can help them with this or that. So I totally believe in sharing your gifts. And I think if you would be so kind and not necessarily be so modest, share with us some of your unique gifts that you are able to bring to your practice and your teaching and to your clients.
Okay. Well, thank you. As you said, I went through many different periods of time, right? So I became a LMT, licensed massage therapist, in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And that really didn't resonate with me as much as I thought it would. So then I went back to school for physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love physical therapy because no matter how you got hurt, it didn't matter. It's just where the pain was or where the hurt was, you got the same corrective exercises. So it sent me on a whole nother quest. So then I became a fascial stretch therapist, for which I went to level 3 medical on that. And then I do joint balancing, which is called Voila. And
which is called, say that again, which is called
Voila,
what?
like Voila.
Voila. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. See.
Voila method. So
Yes.
that helps to kind of balance the joints. We do kinesiology with that, so study kinesiology and metaphysics, epigenetics. It's like, I'm very, 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 I don't know what the word is. I'm just like, it's so important to me that we're safe and that we recognize that our bodies, no matter what it is, skinny, fat, tall, short, long, whatever, some poses just anatomically going to work for you. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to stretch. That doesn't mean you don't set up for it properly. You can still line your bony landmarks. You can still use your stabilizing muscles. You can still do all of that and get into the poses. But then beyond that, if you were to lay on my table and I were to work on you, now we might see where some anger is stored in the body, or where some sadness is stored, or even grief. Like they're literally, we are holding so much in our bodies, energetically, emotionally, and I mean, I would even say spiritually, because we're so divided even there. And I think that, I know it's been proven that we're holding those things in our tissues. So when we do fascial stretch therapy and there's kind of this release even that way, it's not just physical. It is emotional. It is energetic. I am a very big proponent of energy. I've studied crystals and all of those things because I make malas and I make this here. This is, you know, the ankh, right?
The ankh, yes.
With a kind of a mala necklace around it. All of
Yes.
the stones mean something different and have a different energy in them. Now, you know, it's not like if I make you a mala with rose quartz, you're going to suddenly be filled with love. It's not like that. It's just, it's another tool, right?
Right. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. We want, right. That is so beautiful. So, Tiffany, as we start to wrap up, tell people where they can find you, where they can find more information about you. In the beginning, you know, I shared you're known here on IG as Free Spirit Tiffany.
Yes.
B, Free Spirit Tiffany B, as in boy, right? But you can share about, you know, this, like the web address for your business site and anything else you want to share so people can contact you and connect with you aside, because you are a wealth of information. I mean, I think you listed like 7 certifications on different times. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl has like everything under the doggone sun, which is beautiful. And then a depth of knowledge that I believe is very much needs to be shared and communicated. You do have a lot to share. And in this short window of time, just, you know, talking with you, I mean, my goodness, you shared so much, but I do want people to be able to connect with you more. So give us your other additional handles, websites, anything else that people can connect with you on.
Okay. So to do a manual therapy session with me, it's at True Align Life on Instagram, or www.truealignlife.com. If you would like to join us in the studio, virtually too, right? Anywhere you are.
Yeah.
That is at Fitness Collective _ATL for Atlanta. Yeah. Or you can go to the website, fitnesscollectiveatl.com.
Yes. Okay. So you heard it. You know how to get in touch with Tiffany. I also, yes. And listen, she is a gem. So if you don't know her, get to know her, go follow her, find out what she's all about, touch base. She's just a lovely soul and a wealth of walking knowledge. So when you meet somebody, yes, Desiree, she is really wonderful. I highly recommend you get to know her and just, you know, just check her out because she has a lot of wonderful offerings. And, you know, we were blessed to have you here outdoors last month. And as many know, but not all know, that we are in the midst of our fall series coming up. We will be sharing our outdoor yoga series for the fall. We have 2 sessions and we're going to be out in front of live fire, which I'm so excited about, right? Because yeah, because like that's something that's very, you know, we don't get to practice in front of live fire, you know, like, and as you know, there's hot yoga, but this is hot yoga. It's going to be a different kind of hot. And it'll be a different experience because we'll be dealing with the elements, right? We'll be outside, right? The cool air and the hot fire. So we're doing that on Saturday, October 31st. People can register. The link is in the bio. It is donation-based. Link is in my bio. It's donation-based. Hey, Akiko. And if you've never experienced, which I haven't, so this is new for me, but it's something I've been wanting to do. And since COVID has pressed us to shift, gently nudged us to shift and do something different, right? We're outside, but we're going to add the element of fire. And also that, I mean, and the other powerful thing about that day, first of all, Black Power Yoga is going to be leading us. They lead a practice called, as you mentioned, Kemetic Yoga, number 1. And number 2.
If you have not taken the Kemetic, I'm sorry, if you haven't taken Kemetic Yoga, that was a total, oh my goodness. When your body gets into those poses and then you breathe and then you come out and then you realize like really how aligned we are.
Yes.
That was a different experience.
That's
Yes.
scary. Yes, kinetic yoga. And I have experienced, I've been blessed. Again, so the things that I've been blessed to experience, I want to share that with others, right? So the kinetic yoga is going to be powerful, but it's also going to be a full moon on that day,
Oh,
right?
yeah. There's 2 this month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We have 2 full moons this month. The new moon was yesterday. We have 2 full moons. The 31st of the month will be the second full moon of October. So we are calling that one full moon and fire. So that's
Yes.
going to be, yes. You
I
can't
will
get
be there.
Yay! And then following, don't forget the following week, November 7th, that's where Desiree, the lovely Desiree Dixon, and Ayodele Murphy. Ayodele, another well-known Black yoga teacher in the hot community here in Atlanta. I'm super excited about that because she leads hot yoga classes in general in the studio. And now she's going to be leading our hot yoga class in front of the fire, which is going to be pretty darn awesome. So, yeah, thank you, Tiffany. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for those who joined us. If you listen to this post, our, live here in the recording session, please be sure to check out Tiffany. She's awesome. Akiko, I got you on my list too. I want you on here too, my girl. I'm going to call you.
This is awesome. I'm meeting so many people.
I know. I love this. I'm telling you what, the building of community is just, it just speaks to my heart so much. And I really do love it and appreciate it. And I'm so glad that we're able to connect in this way. And I actually think, I always try to find the positive in things, in that COVID has forced us, I think, to connect differently. And as much as we were able to be in front of each other in connection, now we really do have to be intentional about our connections. Yes. And I'm definitely, yes, Akiko, we are creating community, and I know, and I'm so happy to have you as part of my community as well. But this allows us to have these one-on-one conversations and then share these one-on-one conversations in a more public way, because you and I can talk on the phone or we could talk one-on-one, but people don't get to experience that. And so that's the idea behind Soulful Saturday Conversations. So thank you, beautiful one, for joining me, for sharing your soul, for sharing your gifts, for just being present. I look forward to seeing you in front of the fire at the end of the month. Yes, please be sure to register, share, and please share this with anyone you know. Those of you who are listening, check out Tiffany. She's awesome. If you don't know her, you're just missing out. That's all I can say. So
thank you.
Be well, sis. Love you, okay?
Love you.
All right. Bye-bye.